Do you think this case had more to do with racism or white Americans' oblivion of black cultures and communities?
Racism all the way. When you have, for instance, the day that the defense questioned the young lady, Rachel Gentel, directly after the court case, the daughter of the defense attorney posted a picture on Instagram saying, "Yay, we beat stupidity." In the case, these same white folk tried to make Trayvon seem as if he were this brother towering over 6 feet tall, as if he could overpower Zimmerman. And they kept calling him Mr. Martin. These are the same folk that call our elder black men boy. Trayvon was not even 6 feet tall. They're trying to paint a picture of the big bad black man that went against the helpless white person. The same way that, if you ever seen the movie Bamboozled, they're trying to put us back in blackface. As long as the cute little niggas are shucking and jiving and giving us some cakewalks, we're good. As long as it's yes sir, no sir, we're fine. As long as they are kowtowing and they are dancing in our presence and they are doing what we want them to do, we're good. But the moment they stand up, something's wrong. When you have a system like this, even a few years ago, we had a magazine cover with LeBron James and Heidi Klum that looked just like the old King Kong poster with this big black man, this little skinny white woman. Nothing has changed. It was about race. Pure and simple. It was about race. How the heck can you have a jury of 6 women? 5 of them are white. That black woman had no chance. How can you have a white judge and white attorneys? It's all about race. The country that we live in, everything is about race. Look at your neighborhoods. You look at a community with black folk whose houses are run down, but you have a corner store that's run by someone from the Orient. The money's not staying in your community. It's about race. Because when you have the power of the pen and you have the power of the dollar, you can raise yourself up. This case and our plight is all about race.
I agree. I think that the case is definitely about race, and I also think it's about the ignorance of white people and their desire not to know about black people and the black community and the black culture. I think some white people will look you dead in your eye and say, "I'm not racist. I have black friends," but they don't go home with their black friends. You know, they don't want to know what happens, you know, when they turn that corner. 'Cause that's their life. So they live different. We take different roles home, and they don't care about what's on the other side of that road. So I think that maybe it wouldn't be racist if they hopped over to the other side of the grass, you know, and tried to be empathetic and understand, you know, what the problem is. They think, okay, slavery's over. We didn't have anything to do with it. That was my ancestors hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It's a new day. But in our mind, because we are still in slave mentality, you can't tell us, you know, we're not slaves, as much as we don't want to admit it, because we are, and we're slaves to them. So I think that they don't see it. And that encourages the racism because they're not putting effort into trying to understand who we are. So some of those jurors they thought that George Zimmerman was doing his job because they know their husbands or people just like it in their own neighborhoods would have done the same thing. So that's what they're used to. That's their mindset. So they don't know any better. Just how we say black people die every day because we don't know any better. So I think that it's all about mindsets, perceptions, and of course, race.
How about you, Darius?
I definitely think it was racism, but I also think that a lot of times people are a slave to their own mind, meaning they think what they want to think and nothing can change that. And that goes back to how they were raised, what they see, and how they were brought up. And just everything. So I definitely think it was racism. And anytime you have that many white jurors, and then if you draw back to his father being a judge, so you mean you don't think that had a little? I mean, me personally, I think that had a little bit to do with it. So I definitely think that it was more racism than anything.
All right. How do you guys think things would have turned out in this case had Trayvon Martin been a white boy? Chris?
If Trayvon was white and his murderer were black, that brother would be frying right now.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been another Troy Davis case. Or if he were not on death row, he were not already dead by now, he'd have to go on the run, probably be in Cuba with Asada Shakur. I'm just saying. There is no way they would have let a black man get off with that mess. At all. At all.
What are your thoughts, Imani?
Yeah, we wouldn't even heard about it. We've been going on with our lives because that's handled just like the other black men are handled who killed a white person. Or may not have even killed him. But anyway, I think that, yeah, it would have been dealt with. It would have been no questions asked. It would have been, you didn't do what the police said, you know. So, yeah, I mean, of course.
Darius?
They'd have buried that Negro under the jail.
Yep. And stomped them down some more.
Yep, under the jail. Lethal injection, anything. They'd have probably went back to stoning if they could.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's it.
I mean, you look at black people who didn't even do a crime that were lynched,
20 years.
that were beaten.
Shooting in a warrant shot, and he was black.
Troy Davis, they weren't even certain if he did it. And he was given the death penalty. So,
Mumia Abu Jamal.
yeah. I mean, that's just how the system is. So that's what we're trying to change. Trying. We need help from our mayors, such as Stephanie Rollins Blake. You know,
Conversation for another day.
so I mean, yeah. If it were the other way around, I think we all agree this wouldn't even be a conversation.
Nope.
We wouldn't have heard about it. We'd be thinking about something else right now.
Trial would have been over in a day.
Yeah, it wouldn't even been a trial.
Nope.
You know. So.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out, sharing your thoughts on this
Thank you.
monumental national case that we've all been watching. And it's good to know what some of the thoughts, especially in our young black community, what have been going through our heads these past few weeks, months, even over a year now. But that's all the time that we have today. So thank you once again, Mr. Chris Griffin, Imani Rashida, and Darius Robinson. And I'm Tania with Baltimore Weekly.